Is everything ready?
Yes.
Okay. When soon as you see the tank show up, start the timer.
Yeah.
Not that tank, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Left 2.
Okay, so unlike my AGDQ run, I have practiced at least a little bit more than I had for that, but
It wasn't even on the schedule at the beginning this time.
yeah. Well, I told Mike I would be okay with it not being on here since I'd done it the last 3 times, but apparently you guys really want to see it, so I made sure to bring the cart with me just in case.
Do you have to do something special to cut off donations for a particular prize?
No, you just have to make sure the
Yeah.
timestamps are within a certain
Yeah,
range.
because when you draw the prize, it asks you for timestamps for the range.
Yeah, just double check those and make sure they're correct.
You want and make sure to convert them to mountain time too, because
Yeah,
you do
yeah.
Eastern by default.
Okay, so actually I don't know how to do the drawing.
Oh, look.
Okay. Cool.
I'm confused.
This is going pretty well so far. I can tell by the music.
Quick refresh. Cool. There we go. Okay.
Everybody seems to like vacate the room after a run ends, and then they slowly trickle back in. So I'm not too offended.
Yeah, so for anybody new to speedruns of this game, the reason he's pausing in between rooms is to skip the scrolling animation. It saves about 3/4 of a second.
No, it's like a quarter of a second.
okay.
But I do it. I mean, it happens so often during the run that over the course of the run,
Yeah.
I've never like actually tried to figure out the math, but it's significant. So.
And here's to this being UA's first marathon run where he doesn't miss any, too.
Shut up.
Sorry. We just jinxed it.
Can somebody turn up the sound just a little bit? This is a little quieter.
Yeah, the Nest seems kind
I
of
got
quieter
it.
than most of the consoles. Yeah, do it now because I gotta wait for this to fade in. So.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, this game does have great music, so.
Yes,
How's
it
that?
does.
Is that good?
Hello, sir.
Louder.
Let's see. Okay, chat. Let us know if that.
That was a
sounds
really
pretty
good fight.
Oh yeah, wow.
This still seems kind of quiet.
No, I would say that's probably just perfect.
That's good.
Unless chat really wants it to be louder, which I can understand because the music is really that good.
It's a Sunsoft game, after all.
Oh, yeah, they do. They usually most Sunsoft games do have pretty good music, don't they?
Yeah, there's a guy.
But he's still alive after that.
Yeah, the health bar is not entirely like it doesn't track it rounds down on the display, so I can have like it keeps track of my health with a number from 0 to 225. So if I have less than 32 health, it'll look like I have nothing left, but I'll still have enough to be
I
alive.
think about 255, right?
Did
So
I
it's
say?
not actually
What did I
like
say?
Is it
8 hits
225?
are gone.
Or yeah, 255.
255, yeah. Well, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, I mean 8-bit 255.
Yep.
There are lots of complaints about just a little bit louder, please.
Got it.
People are really picky about how awesome this music is.
Yeah, well, like I said, I can't blame them.
Yeah, well, we can get it.
Probably just one
quite a
clip.
bit.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Any more, it's probably too loud for us.
The other nice thing about having the music up nice and loud is I can tell how I'm doing, at least on the first 3 stages. I know exactly like what music cue I should be listening for to tell how I'm doing. So, not so much in the later stages, just because I never bothered to actually try to figure it out, but I probably should. But see, when I was first attempting speedruns for this game, I was actually having a really hard time getting past level like 3 or 4 before resetting. So I spent a lot more time in like the first half of this game, and so certain parts of it stick in my head better than others.
And I think the World 1 music is the one I always remember, though. That's probably because it's World 1.
Yeah. I personally prefer. A lot of people really like World Area 7. Oops! Wow. What
I
happened there?
think that was it.
That's the lava level.
No, I'm just trying to think of the
I
music.
thought it was the
Oh. It's the one that sounds like a tech. Well, I don't know if I'd really call it a rave music, but it's the rockinest music in the game.
Yeah, it's
let's put
got
it
lots
that
of
way.
synth drums.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about now.
We'll hear it
Yeah.
soon enough.
Yeah.
It's also the final boss theme.
Okay, yes, I know what you're talking about.
I think I personally think 3 and 7 are the best tracks. It's kind of hard for me to decide which one I like better.
Yeah, the only one that I personally don't like is level 8.
Yeah, that one's just kind of boring and repetitive.
Yeah, it's not the one that just sounds like just really low key.
It's just kind of an ambient beat without any real melody.
Yeah, it's like
to
I can
it.
understand what they were going for, but I think it just doesn't work so well on the NES sound chip. It just doesn't really fit.
And it's very glitchy too if it loops too many times.
Really?
No, actually,
Or it's
that's
not that
intentional.
one. Oh, okay.
Yeah, if it's at least,
Oh, it makes
Okay,
like
that
a little frog-like sound or something.
you know, that's
That's
4.
level 4. That's the frog sound.
So this is where it gets a little random since those teleporting vampires, as I called them as a kid, can drop hover, and he needs to get at least 3,
4.
4.
I need to have. Well, I need to have 4 by the time. Okay, that's 1. So I can't remember how likely they are to drop, but I want to say it's 50%. So I have about a 25% chance of getting 2 there. And there's I don't know, 6 or 7 enemies I take some extra time to kill just for the extra hover drops. I need to have at least 4 by the time I get back to level 4. Ideally, I want 5. Because any more than that ends up getting wasted. Oh, and here's a trick that I'm sure many people are familiar with, but some people might not be. Basically, the bosses of 2, 4, 6, and 7, if you pause it while the grenade's hitting their weak spot, it'll continue to do the collision checks while the game is paused, and so you'll damage them, and then you can listen for an audio cue to tell when they're dead. And unpause it, and they'll be dead.
That also can happen to you.
Yeah, if you pause, it only happens in boss screens because if you pause it otherwise, it goes to the menu screen. But
Okay, you have wounds?
if there's a projectile that doesn't go away when it hits you, and you pause the game while it's on top of you, it'll continue to hit you as well. So that's actually a real I'm most at risk for that in
7+.
yeah, mostly 7, but 6 can if I screw up the timing on boss 6, he might spew a fireball. But that's less of a risk than the 7th boss.
Okay, we've drawn our prize for the Brick the Floss CD.
Is the Ulap. How do I say it? Yeah, Ulap here.
Oh, the winner is Kevin Kuhn. Congratulations, Kevin.
Congratulations indeed.
And real quick, we got a couple of donations. $5 from Dominic Davis. Great job on TikTok Clock. Your ability to stop time would make Electrical Beast proud. Sorry that Combo left the room, but I'm sure he appreciates the sentiment. Thanks a lot, Dominic. And $50 from Ken Johnson Jr. No comment yet. Thank you
Yes,
very
that
much.
would just be a little out of the way to get it.
Yeah, that's really that's so unlikely to happen that there's no way to plan for
I mean,
that.
the risk of not having enough hover isn't really that high.
Not in a deathless run anyway. In a death run, it can actually be a really too early. I've never managed to get this perfect in a death
Yeah,
run.
this is a really tight timing.
Yeah, I mean, I did it a little safer there just to try it. Because honestly, the biggest time waster is just having the bombs spew all over the place and lag the game up.
Yeah. Because as awesome of a platformer as this is, it's also very, very laggy, so a big part of speedrunning it is lag management and trying to, knowing which enemies create more lag than others and trying to minimize the number of them that are on screen at any time.
You
Yeah.
have the biggest risk of them on World 4, I believe. Or is it 5? Whichever one.
5, yeah.
Five, yeah.
5.
And the fish are pretty much the laggiest enemy in the game.
Yeah, and they're all over the place.
And this room is just one of the strangest ones too, just because the sprite limitations often cause those bomb pods to do weird stuff.
Yeah, I'm getting so many chirpers spawning, it's weird.
Like a lot of times the bomb pods will just disappear and sometimes drop bombs and sometimes not. And,
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty reliable, but it's not 100% reliable. It can depend on what frame you're on. But, I mean, there's only a couple different possibilities, and none of them are too terrible. Some of them are really weird. Whoops. Wow, I still managed to make it.
Nice.
Okay, so that's 3. Alright. So I'll need 1 more by the time I get to level 4. Hopefully I won't have to stop and farm for it. It's pretty unlikely, but it has happened before. Sometimes I can kill that guy before he throws bombs, but it's pretty difficult. Yeah, I'm way behind. I should have already been in the door by now. it's probably like 3 seconds behind. So I'm gonna be running across a lot of spikes in this game just because it's faster, and I know exactly how much damage I can take. Well, okay.
Probably.
I know roughly how much damage I can take before I am at risk of dying, so. And I can usually pick up some health pickups here and there that offset some of the risk. And again, since I'm not going for a submission run, it's okay if I have 1 or 2 stupid deaths. But it'd be nice if I could have a deathless run in a marathon for once. But we'll see.
Oh, you haven't gotten one yet?
No, the last summer. Hold on, this is actually kind of tricky.
Oh, that's not good.
It's. I lost it like a second or two, maybe. As long as I get the red. Nope. Okay. Yeah, so I lost like a couple of seconds there. That's really hard to get perfect.
They were really trying though.
Yep. Last year, what was it that happened? Oh, I managed to get all the way to level 8 without dying, and then when I was jumping over that one pit full of spikes.
The big one you fell in?
Yeah, I fell in instead of hovering, and I was already at low health, so I died. But on the plus side, I had full health for the hardest room in the game, which was nice. Okay, so that's random. The number of bombs he throws is generally pretty predictable because it has to do with sprite limits, but the direction he throws them is completely random. So sometimes I can jump over that guy and still take a hit. Alright, so I still need one more thing of hover. It's a little too far to the right. Let's see if I can make this jump.
Oh.
That's really hard to get. Oh, wow, that doesn't usually happen. It actually saved me like maybe an eighth of a second. So there's one more enemy that I will kill for a hover drop, just in case, and hopefully he drops one. Actually, I guess there's 2. I should try to kill them both just in case.
Turrets.
Yeah, the turret's on the way up through the last room, area 1. Well, not the last one. The last vertical climb, I guess. But hopefully at least one of them drops hover, otherwise I'm going to have to stop and farm, which will be kind of obnoxious.
That would be off the sign flyers, or
Yeah.
flying padlocks, as I called them as a kid in the first room of the game.
Yeah. There's many nicknames for those guys.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that the instruction manual for this game didn't actually have any official names for really anything except for the final boss.
Yeah, Plutonium boss.
Plutonium boss.
This room is actually pretty tricky to get right. That wasn't horrible. Okay, never mind. Why did I say anything?
Jinxing yourself here.
Yeah. So that was actually pretty horrible. Whatever. I spent a lot of time trying to get that right when I was first doing my speedruns, so I'm not like too horribly upset that I screwed up there, but I am kind of upset that I said something and then immediately screwed it up. But alright, so normally I wouldn't try to kill this guy, but since I'm low on hover... Okay, nope, it's not being nice. Ah, now I gotta stop and farm. Wow. That's never happened in a marathon before.
I think that counts for the never happened.
No, it doesn't.
No, that means something that's never happened before, period, in
Alright.
practice.
Come on. Okay, there we go.
That wasn't too bad though.
Watch this guy drop. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say watch him drop. That's about. That's one of the things that's kind of annoying about a deathless run is that I have to stop and farm there. I actually.
You mean a death's run?
Oh yeah, death run. Sorry. Okay, this is semi-serious time. I get knocked down here. Okay. If I get knocked down there, then I have to go back.
And farm again?
Like, I have to go back at least 3 rooms just to reset the drops there.
Oh.
And then also, yeah, I also have to farm. Well, depends on when I get knocked down, but yes, usually I'll have to farm. And while I said that 3 and 7 have the best songs in the game, this is the one I'd most like to hear a good remix of, just because it's so atmospheric.
Yeah. I mean, I love just how sophisticated it is for an NES music track too, since it does both the tempo change and a chromatic scale. I can play this on piano too. It's pretty easy.
And this was back when sewer levels weren't entirely cliche yet, so we can forgive that. Oops. Meant to fall down there, but whatever. Didn't want to catch that first ledge. Didn't lose too much time though.
A couple of the platforms in this sewer are a little trickier than they look. Just to get dead on.
I swear I'm not psychic, by the way. I don't know if you caught that. So this is actually slightly risky right here, but I think I'll be alright. Okay, yeah. There's been a couple of times when I'll have enough to have gotten up there, but somehow managed to run out before I got up that ledge, and then I have to, stop and farm.
Because the hover is just the same as your health, and that, you see 8 notches on the meter, but those really represent a value between 0 and
Okay, I need
255.
Alright, semi-serious time for a second here. Okay.
Nice.
2 for 4.
So each frame that you have hover on costs 1 point then?
Yeah, 1 point in memory and maxes out at 255. So at full hover gauge, you have slightly over 4 seconds worth of hover. So if anybody hasn't heard the explanation for that before, basically you can run over that water while you're doing the invincibility flash. As long as you get off of it before the invincibility flash ends, you'll be fine. But if it runs out while you're still on it, it's instant death. And like I said, I'm only 2 for 4 at marathons. It's not really that hard of a trick. It's just like my finger slipped at just the wrong time. This is the time that's a little annoying.
There we go.
Not as bad as the 7th boss though. That one's the window on that is really super tiny.
You might not have noticed that because he got it so quickly,
Yeah, I didn't
but the damage tone changes slightly when it's dead. Because
Yeah.
you can let that run forever, but the boss doesn't actually die until you unpause. It's a little harder to tell for the frogs, just because usually the grenade is going to be both hitting the mouth and the body at the same time, so you have both the damage sound and the clinking invincibility sound going off at the same time.
Yeah. So they were nice in that boss tunnel, and they give you enough hover to get back out of the sewer without having to stop and farm. So props to the level designers for that one.
Yeah, the only real complaints I have about the level design in this game is the final level, just because the wall climbing power-ups just make it a lot harder than it should be.
Yeah.
I guess they gave you a reason to use those powers.
I just
Well,
thought
the problem is that as soon as you get the ceiling climber, the driving off corners completely changes, like the physics behind it. So it makes that one room in the middle of the level would actually be easier with no power-ups because of the way it changes the physics. It'd still be tricky enough, but it's like harder because of the way the jumps change. And that was actually a really good climb out of the sewer, so that was pretty happy with that.
given how long this game is for an NES side scroller, the precision platforming really adds up over a full run if you get the jumps first try.
Alright, so
Alright,
those of you...
don't miss the left block this time.
Oh god, I'm so stupid. I can't believe I did that.
Yeah.
That was really fast too.
Oh,
Nice.
So, just to explain what Quixel was talking about, I was doing a practice run of this a couple hours ago, and I forgot to open the left lock before I did that trick, so I was stuck on the other side,
Oh wow.
and I tried to, I could have recovered from it, but it would have, cost me like a minute or two, but I was trying to do I was gonna see if I could glitch back. Like I was trying to see if I could get back out on the other side of the gate quickly, and I managed to get myself lodged in the gate, and I had to reset.
Oh wow.
So
Yeah, for anyone unfamiliar with that trick, it was discovered like maybe what, a year or two ago.
I forget exactly when it was discovered. After I did my initial site runs, but before Awesome Games Done Quick 2011.
Yeah, so then the way that works is that if Jason turns around the same frame that he enters the hitbox for opening the door, it'll reverse the direction that he walks through the open door. So that lets you just walk through that without having to climb up and do the whole platforming as Jason section above.
Yeah.
You can do some fun stuff with the game if you do it multiple times too, since each time you do it, it detaches your coordinates of your character relative to the map.
Yeah, it lets you do some fun things in the European version because for some reason, even though the European version came out later than the American and Japanese versions, it manages to have more glitches in it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like the two biggest ones are that if you hit the jump button at the exact frame that you get control back after unpausing, when you're as Jason in the side view, you can actually jump in midair, and so you can use that to get into level 8 early. As well as a couple other tricks. That's the big one, is being able to get into level 8 as soon as you get to level 3. The other big thing, it takes long enough to explain. I'm gonna wait till after I kill this boss. Actually, I'm gonna kill this guy just because I got trolled in a practice run earlier, and this boss failed to spawn. So I'm playing a little safe here because there's a sprite limit bug where this guy won't spawn if there's too much stuff on the screen as you approach his room.
Yeah, and the little robot shots kind of too. Seriously.
Yeah, that wasn't great. It wasn't horrible either. This is like the one big random thing left in Deathless Run that just makes me want to cry when it goes poorly.
Yeah, because you get a random number of frames that he's just sitting there eating grenades before he starts moving.
Yeah, and plus his movements after that are completely random too. So he's very erratic and it's hard to do quickly. At least when you have no gun, and if you have any gun power, by the time you're wow, it'll take too much damage.
Nothing major.
Sorry, I need a second.
No, I have one. Yeah, I'll bring that too.
There we go.
All right.
Easier.
So
Just let him chat.
if you have any gun power by the time you get here, you're doing it wrong. So I'm gonna try to get some health since I got damage there.
It's okay.
Yeah. So this is actually probably the most annoying section of the run, just because it. Ow. That was no good. Because it's hard to get health drops in this section without slowing down, and there's a lot of random elements involved, like when these guys decide to shoot. Because sometimes there's the speed route to get through here. There's a couple spots where you just won't be able to avoid a shot like right there. If he had decided to shoot me, I would have been able to do anything about it.
Yeah, I mean these fish are pretty much for having only 2 frames of animation. They're pretty much the laggiest enemy in the game.
Has anybody been able to figure out why that is?
Whoa!
Whoa!
The sound chip seems to have gone. But...
Background noise?
Oh wow!
Wow.
The audio in this game is a little glitchy, if you couldn't guess. One of the music tracks stopped, I think. That's great.
No, it's just very quiet. It sounds like.
Oh yeah, it is very quiet.
Yeah, like one of the sound channels is gone or something.
It's like way quiet.
Now has that ever happened before?
Not in a marathon run. Actually, when I was doing a recorded run once, I went through the first door and as soon as I paused it and unpaused it, it started playing the get an item music.
Weird.
And as soon as that stopped, the music was just gone. So like
Wow.
the music track was just gone after that. If I could figure out how to get that to happen reliably, that would actually save time because the music would lag the game less.
Oh, the
But
music
it-
has a big lag factor.
Well,
as well?
It uses up some of the process.
it uses up a little
Yeah.
bit, and it would make a difference over the course of the run if I could figure out how to make it happen. But like I said, it's only happened literally. I mean, this is the 3rd time I've ever heard it happen while not fighting the 6th boss.
Yeah.
Where the music freaks
And
out like
the other
this.
interesting thing about the music in this game is that the cue to actually start the game after you press start is built into the music too.
Whoa! What the hell was that?
What?
Weird.
Okay, I have never seen that before.
Yeah.
This level is just having fun with us.
Yes. So what is that again? If you somehow not turn off the music, the game will never actually start from the.
Oh
opening
yeah,
cutscene,
if
or-
for some reason the music isn't playing or the wrong music is playing, there's a particular note that makes the tank fly down the tunnel during the intro cutscene.
Mhm.
So if it never hits that note, the tank just sits there forever.
Okay, we got $15 from Valentine Leger. UA Demand.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot for the work on the videos and highlight/blooper videos from AGDQ. I have no idea what to put that to, so I let UA decide.
I'll have to think about that because I'm not sure I'll have to look at some of the name donations because I think all the challenges are complete. So.
Good luck on the Blaster Master.
Oh, and anyone else new to this? If you press A when you have the tank dive power up, that increases your speed. I've never really understood if that's something intentional they forgot to put in the manual, or if it's actually a glitch.
It's not listed in the instruction manual. I found it by complete accident when I was playing the game when I was younger. So, if you're stopped on the ice, it's actually a little fast. It's actually a little faster to jump rather than to just try to drive from a standing start.
Yeah, because it takes you like a good second or so to build momentum when you're on the ice.
Yeah.
We got $5 from Robert McBride Jr. Thanks a lot for all you do, guys and gals. All you guys and gals do. Here's an inspiration. You're an inspiration. Here's a donation for a game with one of my all-time favorite soundtracks. Can't wait for my new SGDQ shirt to be delivered.
You have good taste, sir.
Thanks a lot, Robert.
Thank you.
Our main challenges are Boss Rush for the Minute of Innocence, stays $100. And Project Tell Sunset Riders, needs a little help. $70.
Oh, okay. Put my 15 towards Sunset Riders.
Alright,
I forgot that one.
72.
Take some bread. Let's ride again.
Take that 53 left after this.
Alright, so still $53 to go on Sunset Riders, played by Michael Yama as the character Koromano. So get those donations in if you want to see Mike play one of his favorite games.
Okay, I need everybody to shut up for
Yeah.
this next room.
Okay.
Seriously, don't say
Serious
a word.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. 2 for 4 on that also.
Yes. That would be the infamous leap of faith. It saves like two seconds if you make it and costs about 40 if you fall.
Yeah, it's a reset if you fall.
Yeah.
Timing on it is relatively tight, but it's not completely horrible. But yeah.
I know. The last time I played, I got it first try. I mean, it's the ice physics that just make it hard.
Well, the best part was you didn't even do it in the right place.
Yes, I didn't even. I mean, it was the exact same, like distance and stuff, but it wasn't even the right platform that I did it on. So yeah, my only real kind of disappointment is that there aren't any good sequels to this game.
Yeah, the Game Boy Color one's probably the best one, but the physics on that one are just. Ugh.
Yeah.
The Wii one's probably second best, but that's not saying much, just because the biggest gripe I have with the WiiWare, well, 2 biggest gripes I should say, with the Wii one is that the music tracks are generally pretty awful. Like the second Area 2 is pretty much the only like even halfway listenable one. Area 8 is somehow even worse. I would like to.
Not really.
And my other gripe is that like everything requires a recharging energy bar, but the energy bar only recharges when you're holding still,
Oh.
which pretty much guarantees I'm never gonna speedrun that game.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like the worst design decision ever.
Yeah. So as you can see here, the damage tile doesn't go all the way into the wall because of limitations in the map complexity.
Didn't you abuse that a little earlier as well?
I don't think so.
Not this time.
Nothing springing to mind. I might be forgetting something.
I think this is the first one.
Yeah. See, the thing is there's like so many weird tricks in this game that I forget our tricks sometimes. Kind of like Nate with Super Metroid.
Yeah.
So. Alright, this is semi-serious time because the timing and positioning here is kind of tight.
There we go.
That's probably okay. Okay, good. And took a little longer to die than he's supposed to, but that wasn't too
Yeah,
bad.
if you don't use the grenade trick on that guy, he's pretty much up there with the crab. Just 'cause
I would say he's the hardest boss in the game to fight normally.
mhm.
Unless you have full gun power, but again, if you have full gun power, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah,
In
and,
fact, if you have more than 2, you're doing it wrong.
and yeah, if you're fighting him without grenades, lag is your friend too, because that's what gives you actual time to dodge.
Yeah,
his
the
shots.
best part about that boss is if you do fight him with the full gun, it's like the laggiest thing in the
Yeah,
game, period.
yeah.
And the audio can just completely go crazy. I kind of wish I could show it off, but unfortunately, I just don't have a way of doing that. So
Yeah. And then that boss can take forever to die too. If there's too many shot sprites.
Well,
on screen
it's
when
like-
he dies.
it's lag related. Like he'll start blowing up but not actually die. Like he'll still be moving around and firing, and the only way to fix it is to like try to lag the game even more. And then it's just really random. Like I lost a ton of time in my initial Deathless submission to that. I think it was like 20 seconds or more. Honestly, the only reason I submitted that Deathless run is because I had such great luck on the level 5 boss, because I had the lag on the level 6 boss, and then I screwed up the level 7 boss and lost like another 10 seconds, and I lost probably another 10 seconds on the way to level 8. If I hadn't gotten such good luck on the level 5 boss, I never would have submitted that run. But the run that's up on the site now, the 4123, that run went really well, except for like the level 5 boss was about average, and I think I had a dumb fall in like level 4 or something like that. But other than that, it went pretty well. So it'll probably be a while before I end up being able to improve that.
Though you definitely want to fix the audio, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't unlistenable, but yeah.
Well, if it had been like a Super Nintendo
Oh, that's
game
right.
or
Yeah,
something like that,
I had the wrong audio cable plugged in, but thankfully I was streaming it. Wow. Okay.
Ooh.
That sometimes that guy knocks me into the water. It's pretty rare, but it can happen. Because the direction you fly when you take a hit depends on your position and their position, and that guy moves in a random direction when he gets on the screen. So, like in certain positions, he can knock me into the water. It's a little better if you're not trying to hug the wall. It's less likely to happen, but it still happened to me even if you're not trying to hug the wall. So was it? Oh yeah, the audio in my 4123. Thankfully, I was streaming it on Twitch from another computer at the time, but the sound quality was a lot worse. So it sounds like it's coming through a tin
Yeah,
can.
I think it sounds okay for a Nintendo game, but if it was like a Super Nintendo or PlayStation game, it would be pretty bad.
Yeah, it's. I definitely would not have submitted that if it wasn't A, really really good, and B, it wasn't the NES game since the audio. You know, I even said like, sorry if the audio's. I'm sorry that the audio's bad. I feel fine if you're rejected because of the audio quality, but you know, nobody seemed to mind too much. So
Yeah.
okay, don't troll me, please.
The little flyer.
Yeah, was it SGDQ?
It was SGDQ
Yeah,
last
okay.
year, where there was one that just was at a perfect angle, where it hit you while you were still on the wall, made you fall.
Yeah, that's really rare, but it can happen. You know, it's completely random what angle those guys are moving in. So this is arguably the best music track in the game.
Yeah, I think I would agree that 3 and 7 do go up there. Quality.
Okay, so if I do that right, this guy will not be there. Okay, so there's normally a guy there, but even if he is there, I can run right through him because of the way the corner physics work, but it does make the game lag up a little more. Ow! Jerk. That's random. Where
So
he drops
was it
the
because
ball.
of your timing for the pause scroll cancel? Or
No, that's just completely random. Oh, you mean the guy? No, that's because the positions of the enemies if I fall in the right spot, the positions of the enemies in the room prior to that will make the too many sprites on screen, and it'll make that guy fail to spawn. Kind of like the fifth boss, except a good glitch.
Yeah.
So, but again, it's not. It costs like half a second if I screw it up because I can run right through them. But it saves mostly because it saves lag. Oops. So this is about where Simon Vicklin's comment was read off last year. I don't know if he's watching again, but
Oh, was he the composer for the
Yeah.
soundtrack?
No, for Bionic Commander Rearmed, and he
Oh.
said this is one of his favorite games.
Ah,
And wow, these guys are really being jerks right
Blaster
now.
Master Rearmed of the same quality as Bionic Commando Rearmed.
I'm trying to think if I were to make like a sequel to this game, like a good sequel, I'm trying to decide what the subtitle would be. I don't know, Blaster Master Fracture.
Fountains of Fury.
What?
Fountains of Fury.
Search for more money. Oh wait, that's what she's called. Appropriate to my shirt, I guess.
Yeah, oh, and by the way, in case anybody is curious, since I just realized I was wearing this shirt, Phobic Studios is the company I work for. Please buy our iPhone and Android games. Thank you.
Shameless advertising.
Yeah. And some of them. I hope Colin's watching. I know he wanted to watch this, but
He donated for it, didn't he?
he did. But he didn't know what time it was going to be on, so I hope he caught my Facebook post. But I don't know.
Nice.
But yeah, he did. Yeah, so that's a pretty hard jump to land, and it saves like a quarter second if I get it. But
And you don't even notice it too if you're not really familiar with the game too.
yeah. Actually, I'm gonna want a time check when I kill this next boss.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious what my time is. Oh! God damn it! It's a little too early. Oh, there goes Deathless. I was hoping for Deathless for once, but oh well.
That was the hardest one of the four, though, wasn't it?
Yes.
Some delicious food if you want to take a break.
This one's really easy, just don't stop.
Probably already know by the time I get there.
Because he'll always turn that way to fire right
Yep.
at the moment they need.
Alright.
Alright, the timing on this is pretty tricky. 2, 3, 4. Oh! I gotta wait now. Oh, come on! Oh, I forget what his pattern is now. God damn it.
You were trolling me. Here.
Yeah. I think I want to.
Whoa.
I think this next one's a fireball, so I don't want to try it again. Okay, this next one's the tongue, so that should be the safest spot.
There.
Oh, come on! Oh, you gotta be kidding me! Wow. I'm so angry right now. That's the worst I've ever done
Wow.
on that boss. That's crazy.
And welcome to the marathon.
Yeah. 2, 3, 4. Come on, throw the grenade! Oh,
There
wow. Really cutting it close here.
Yeah.
Progress is luck too far.
I'm gonna wait, because I don't want...
Yeah.
Wow. If I had paused that a frame later, I would have died.
Yeah, because
Wow.
remember, the pause trick works on you too, so I mean, this is where you're at the greatest danger of getting hit by that fireball and then...
Yeah, oh, by the way, what's my time now?
Time is 38:12.
Eh. If I hadn't died, I think I want to be at like 36 and change there. But the 2 deaths really slowed me down, so...
$5 donation from CJ Johnson. No comment yet.
Like, I almost want to game over on purpose, and just in level 8, just in case, but... I don't know. Actually, if I was going to game over on purpose, I should have done it already, because then it wouldn't have worked me back to the beginning of this level.
Yeah.
I'm a bit low on hover, but not so low that I feel like stopping. There's a couple spots I can try to pick it up before I go to level 8. Well, there's a couple spots in level 8 where I can pick it up too, but...
I like how those zoomers can sometimes just be hanging onto nothing because of
Yeah, the way that...
physics work.
Yeah, the tile collision in this game is kind of screwy because, yeah, this would... just they used like every byte in this game that they could for in like the in-game memory. Okay. So the way the tile collision works, some strange things can happen at screen borders. Unfortunately, none of them particularly useful. At least not in the American version. I'm trying to think if there's any. I guess the European zip glitches wouldn't work nearly as well if the tile engine didn't work the way it did. Again, I wish I could show that off, but we don't have the. Unless somebody's got the European version on the Wii here, then I won't be able to show it off.
Well, if you like this game, check out the Tool Assistant speedrun of the European version, 'cause that's like, what, 5 minutes and
Something like
change
that,
or something
yeah.
like that, because it uses some really precise zip glitches in order to get to the final boss.
Yeah, there's
Right from the start of the game, pretty much.
There's a couple of there's a bunch of frame perfect tricks. Some of them you can recover from if you screw them up, but there's a couple right at the end where you can't. So, like I think you'd get stuck in the wall if you screw them up and you have to reset.
Okay, the comment from CJ Johnson is, hey guys, I'm Siege. I am one of the DJs at 91.8 The Fan. We've been sending people your way as much as we can for all of your streams, and it's always a fun time to watch the stream, and I personally try to donate each time. With this donation, I'd like to request that Realm in FF6 be named after 91.8 The Fan's mascot, Reedy. Keep on rocking, and I'll keep on watching and donating. Thanks a lot, CJ.
Brilliant genius.
So I'd like to point out two things. I got some hover from that last turret, so I don't have to stop, and also the game was really trying to troll me with those flyer spawns there. Trying to knock me off the ceiling yet again.
Yep. I mean, if you missed last couple runs, if those guys hit you, you fall.
Okay, I gotta try that again.
And then you have to go all the way back to the right side of the room and come to the
Yeah, it
ceiling
wastes
again.
like 15 seconds.
Yeah, now I'm remembering the tracking music. I realize, yeah, it's not great music.
I'm a bit low on health, so I'm gonna grab that. The corner, I hate the corner physics after you get the ceiling climber. Like, even with all my practice, it still screws with me, especially in this next room. This is...
Yeah,
I'm
Oh,
really
this
low on
room.
health. Yeah, this... I'm gonna wait and kill this guy here. Okay, come on!
oh.
Okay, that's a little helpful. Ah, sh- Okay, that's probably
Alright.
that's probably the best run through that room I've ever had in a marathon.
That is hands down the most difficult room in the game, just because of the positioning of all the spikes
Yeah, I was
and
taking it a bit
caterpillars,
safe
and
there too.
having to deal with the corner physics with the wall climbers.
Yeah.
Since you're going to the final boss, now it doesn't matter if you have the hover, right?
Yeah.
LV Creed says, I can't hear Area 8 BGM without singing Brains to every note.
So yeah, this last section's pretty much just fall asleep if you want to. Well, not quite that, but
Yeah. If you lost a lot of health in the spike room.
it could have been. The first part of the room could be a little risky, but as long as I don't stop moving here. Whoops.
I think you just slipped through that, didn't you?
I did, yeah. When you're doing the little corner animation, you don't have a hitbox, so that can be kind of nice in a couple spots. That wasn't really intentional though. I guess hopefully he gives me a good pattern here. A good pattern means I don't ever have to move. Nah, okay, he's not being nice. You got to see that bug again. Alright, I'm gonna go back out and get some health. Because I want to be full health for this guy.
And you can. Wow, I never saw that before.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go back to my tank and fill up on my health.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you wouldn't do this if you were on your last life.
Yeah, if I wasn't on my last life, I would not do this, but I want to have full health.
I think it's interesting.
Nobody
that the
wants-
music has stopped.
Yeah, well, that's normal, but yeah. Nobody wants to watch me do level 8 again if I die to this guy, so I'm just trying to minimize the risk here. He's being really stupid.
Yeah.
Now when he's in this position, oh, I guess he does.
Oh,
Yeah,
there-
he wants me to do the safe strat, I guess.
Yeah.
The positioning for this is actually really tight because if you're too far to the left, then the okay. Not time yet, but are you kidding me?
Wow.
One last troll. Are you serious? Okay, now I have never seen you do that.
2454.
Okay, considering I died twice, I'm happy.
That's troll.
Wow, what did they know?
I have seriously never in my life seen that boss do that glitch.
Yeah. I mean, have you left before between the forms? Or?
It has nothing to do with that. He just happened to be whipping right as he died, so the lag from the screen whip made him screw up.
That's crazy. Always something new, right?
Yeah, no kidding. Alright.
Alright. So tune in for our next marathon when we'll have a Blaster Master block.
If you want to call it that, sure.
Yeah, thanks to you, Rainmaker, for that awesome Blaster Master, I guess, run. Just kidding.
Run.
And
One
coming up
clear.
next is Zelda 1, both quests.
Yep.
With Darkwing Duck. So,
Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it.
He's here, so.
Oh, I got
We're going to run a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Stick around. Oh, okay. With ad block, stick around.
Oh, no problem. I can
Can
switch.
you grab the...
Oh, that's right. You wanted to play on the other TV,
Yeah,
didn't
I'm gonna
you?
be playing on the other TV.
Okay, I can switch this over real quick.
So I'm gonna need to move the laptop and share that.
Switch those checkboxes.
And stop this one.
I guess we have two estimates, one for both quests. Or...
Yeah, I guess.
We're doing both quests.
We're doing both
I just
quests.
put it in. So
You guys
Yeah,
want
yeah, I was just checking
you
your.
guys want to do for each quest or for
I would say for each quest if you have estimates
It says
for
an
each
hour and
quest.
30, so.
Well, that's for both
that's
quests.
for both
Okay.
quests. So well, the estimate's going to be not going to equal up to 130, but let's do 36 as an estimate.
For the
For
first
the
one?
first quest?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're
Where's your
two
card?
separate splits?
Oh.
Or two separate times? Is that
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, and the second quest will be about
So first one you want
36
45.
36.
Where did I put the card? There.
It's the kind of thing you should figure out before your run starts.
Well, it was in here. And here's a prize for the Zelda block. One. I'm considering calling this the Triforce of SDA.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
It's a little different than the one we had last
yeah, it's a little bit different.
Well,
It's a little bit different color.
The color's spot
Well,
on.
got
no,
more it's to try to get it as gold as possible since it's kind of getting a gold.
So it's not the Cheddar Force.
Yeah, yeah. The gold, gold is kind of hard to mimic with glassware. So unfortunately, my mom who made it didn't realize that the Triforce is 8 sections and not 9. But we'll pretend that this SDA
No, that's the
Triforce-
Zelda 2 Triforce.
Yeah.
The extra piece.
Yeah. Well, no.
This Triforce is a Zelda 2?
Well,
That's at the end, right?
yeah.
You have the
Yeah,
Triforce
so-
of Courage at the very end.
That's true.
Yeah. So there you go. It
Never
is.
get that far.
This is a fused glass, so it's it's one piece. Usually stained glass has foil and stuff to
So,
connect the pieces.
So is that for the whole Zelda block? then?
Yes.
Okay. And is it
So
bets on Mercury Zelda winning it again?
Yeah.
You see those two
Yeah.
checkboxes there?
Yeah,
You swap those.
that's what maybe.
Well,
is it a $10 prize?
I would
then?
recommend.
Get a lunch.
Well,
Yeah.
well,
You're trying to kill
yeah.
Darkwing. It's a Darkwing Duck SDA or just Darkwing Duck?
Darkwing_duck_SDA.
Duck.
____.